Henrietta. Hi, buddy. Oh, my. So I'm out walking Henrietta again. Video's going to be sloppy again. Hopefully it's worth a shit. I mean, it's not worth a shit, actually. These aren't really meant to be watched. You can just have them on in the background, right? The thing on my mind tonight is narcissists and how they move. So here's the thing about narcissists. This one's for the empaths. If you don't know that term, damn it, Henry, or you're unsure about it, let me know. But if you're an actual empath or have empathic traits, with the internet and shit, I think you'd come across it by now. I mean, it took me a long time, but I mean, I knew what they were, but it took me a long time to jump on board. So, I mean, I get it. But here's the thing about narcs empaths. These people aren't just to be avoided. Okay, if you don't know what a narcissist is, please educate yourself. Narcissists, psychopaths, there's a dark triad, okay? These are all people that empaths, especially green ones, fall for. Wow, we got cows pretty close. Sorry, guys. Way she goes in the country. So the thing about empaths is they hunt you. They are actively hunting you right now. They see you, they're going to see you before you see them. And it's almost all over already if you're unprepared. But here's the thing, I don't know what would prepare somebody, because it's almost like you could watch all the shows about it. You could read all the passages and books about it, maybe, and it'd sink in. But if you're not being abused by a narcissist, then you wouldn't know why you're doing all that. So you wouldn't be as driven as somebody who's been to the depths of hell with one or two or a few or more. The way I understand it is, the more powerful of an empath you are, the more pure you are, the likelier and the stronger the attacks are. So here's what to look for. If somebody comes into your life and it's like, wow, right from the start, right? You just can't believe how into you they are and this and that. Red flag, not green one. If that's called discernment. Okay? Nope, not past that thing. We don't go out there, buddy. Once you have discernment, you can see these monsters coming. But before you do, if you are the one seeking, you shall find. Now, you believe, and it should be true, that by putting out a love vibe or a, hey, I need, this and that in my life, it'd be nice to have some support here and some support there, whatever it is, right? It would be lovely to, understand and for it to be true that putting that kind of energy out attracts that kind of energy, and it does. But not until you know. Not until you know for sure. Okay? Come on, buddy. We gotta go back, buddy. We still have the big old long walk to go. Once you know, you can never unknow. But you must know. Now, see, I don't know if you can outstudy one beforehand. I don't know. I skipped the narcissist section of all the books because there were so many in my life I thought I understood them, but there was one type I didn't know anything about. And of course I wasn't familiar with the languages or their specific tactics. I just knew that I was surrounded by monsters my whole life. So I figured, okay, well, I'll look at the other people, see what the fuck is going on, right? I got into psychology pretty big. I don't know, somewhere mid-20s. So basically 25 years ago, I started reading Carl Jung. I started reading Sigmund Freud, A.A. Brill. I mean, you name it. I read them. Yeah, there's a little used bookstore downtown Riverside. I used to trade old ones in. She let me, a little Russian gal named Nadia owned it. So cool. And I went there looking for chess books and walked out with a bunch of psychology books because their chess section sucked. I thought because she was Russian, but well. So I ended up with an unexpected lesson in spiritual psychology from young. And it changed me forever, but I still didn't get the full scope of it. I just wasn't ready to see the whole fucking thing. Right, I couldn't see it. I couldn't see it. Not from what little I'd read. It wasn't the biggest book in the world. I don't know, maybe 100 pages, 120. I don't know. And it was like smaller than it's like paperback size, right? A little bigger than a paperback, like a Stephen King novel. We're not going down in there. We're not past this thing, buddy. So anyway, the thing is, the war here, the spiritual war here, many of them, and much of it, a large portion of it, is fought between narcissists and empaths, psychopaths and empaths, sociopaths and empaths. Because a sociopath, a narc, a psychopath, they're empty inside. They were just born without something. Well, not born without something. Usually something traumatic happens and they go inside. Maybe they create a world that's safe. And that world must never be touched by anything else. And it serves them well while they're under attack. But then they keep it into adulthood and it just wrecks their lives. So these people, some of them are malignant. Other ones, they don't not really even sure that they are them. And they just know that they go through some bullshit and they're up and down. Anyway, but the point is, if you know the red flags to look for, add up to 3 and then run. Do not walk away. Run away. Or stand up, fight, and then walk away. Never look back. But here's why I say this, is that I don't know, I could make every video in the world and so could everybody else. Everybody who's been just completely traumatized by these people. And I think people would just be like, wow, that sucks that that's out there. And they don't know that they live with 1, 2, 3 of them. They just know they're never happy and they're people pleasers and all this kind of crap. So the thing about narcs is they're actively hunting you. The stronger the empath, the stronger the little glint in the eye that we have. We tell people we're here, only most people are so asleep they don't see us. So when one does, we feel seen, we feel heard, we feel validated, and we feel accepted and real. The problem is both the enemy and your meant family can see you. And the enemy, of course, isn't going to come off as the enemy. That's why, that's why Satan is Satan. He's good at what he does. So he'll send your dream all wrapped up in a nice little bow. Or he'll send the perfect educated parent. Or he'll send a wonderful sister who means very, very well, but life is hard on her. No, it isn't. No, it isn't. People make excuse for these narcs, and then they get more and more powerful. But the more and more powerful a narc gets only means, this part's important, okay? It only means that they're better at playing their fake ass fucking game. It doesn't make them more powerful. It makes them a more powerful player. They have no power to begin with. Once you understand that, you can start to find your own power. These people are powerless because what they fear most is exposure. Whether that means, public humiliation or just someone serving up how they are. They know how they are, but they put on a mask and play that mask so damn well because they've been practicing since 9, 11, 13, 16. Now they're 40 and you got one of them in front of you and they're telling you every fucking thing you've ever wanted anybody to say to you. And boom, you are in trouble. Just keep watching. Don't go with it. Look, it says in the Bible, if you seek, you shall find. It's true and it's not. Well, it's always true, but our interpretation of it isn't always what happens in real life. See, you're seeking what? When a broken empath, a damaged empath, or a lesser formed empath, a newer green empath who hasn't been on Earth very many years, when they seek, it's like wearing a neon sign that says "Eat at Joe's" right on their forehead. The wolves can see you too. You're looking for family, but you're advertising it also to the predators. Okay? And the predators, they'll come to you before your family does. And they'll isolate you from your family. And they'll do all kinds of fucked up shit. A narcissist is nothing to play with. It's not a funny name for an arrogant dude, usually, who sometimes gets drunk and beats his wife. No. That's one sort of little boy malignant narcissist, but the covert narcissist, think Amber Heard. Tell me you side with anybody but Johnny Depp in that. Come on. His heart was fucking shattered by a narc. He had the glow, she did not. And she did everything in the narc textbook, which I know all the tricks. Hell, I know tricks that the fucking doctors don't know. I'm positive of it. I've had nothing but narcs in my life, my entire life. You know, rolling out of bed one day, 51 years old, realizing I've never had a friend, realizing I've never had any girlfriend, no matter how long I lived with them, actually give a shit about me. Not for a minute. Oh, they go through the roles, they go through the motions, right? You know, but you feel it. You feel it. They're after something. I just could never figure out what all these people ended up after. Well, they're after you. See, because here's how it works, okay? These narcs, these stupid narcissists, they walk around with their tanks empty. And what do they hang around? Parking lots. Because they're going to siphon the gas out of some sucker who parks. That's the only way that they can get ahead in life. They take your energy. So it's an energy exchange. And since nothing can happen straight across, it has to happen opposite. So when you exchange your good energy, they get the good vibes. And that makes you happy because you've made someone else happy. And then you have depleted yourself now of those good vibes. It's not an exchange. You get nothing. But they're faked good mood. They're fictitious, acted, performed good mood because somebody is paying the fuck attention to them. Somebody gave them a rattle after they pooped themselves for the 4th time today, and mama doesn't give a fuck anymore about changing her. See what I'm saying? It starts young. These people learn what to do, whatever they need to do. God damn, I'm getting into territory here that's fucked up. Look at this shit. Look what I just walked down in the fucking dark. Well, you can't see it, I guess. It's a fucking mess, dude. Look at this fucking hill. You know, this fucking hill. Yeah. Anyway, onward and upward we go. So, the thing is, what happens in a narc-empath relationship is the following. The narc love bombs the empath. And love bombing is that's an actual technical term, believe it or not. It just means they shower them with praise, with approval, with safety, feelings of I'm home, feelings of wow, we're soulmates. I've never mentioned, or I've never experienced anything like this before. Didn't we already go over here? You fucking yeah. Why are we going back? Okay, we'll go back up. And they're hunting you. They get you hooked. Okay, but back to my thing. Sorry, Henry fucked me up. So if an empath is seeking, I say you've got about a 70-30 shot of missing. Why? Because the untrained, unbroken empath also advertises a signal when they seek. It's like, it's like pheromones. We're trying to attract a mate. We do certain things. It's deeply embedded. We know the right mates to attract. We know what to do to attract the right mates. The problem is the wrong mates know this shit too. We're advertising it. The world is a mirror. Okay, so whatever we say we're looking for in a mate are things we're lacking in ourselves. And they will note every one of them and use them against you later to break you like you wouldn't believe. So you've got to watch out for the narc, because living in cognitive dissonance is not somewhere you want to spend a lot of time. But, I would have heard all this before and said you're probably crazy. What are you smoking? What are we doing, Henry? The cat's out here too. Look, here comes the fucking cat. Hi, Sammy. This phone ain't great in the dark, but you can see his ass. Hi, Sammy, you little motherfucker. Dude, we're way out there too. We're as far away from home as we pretty much go right now. Here, I'll show you where home is. It's not those lights. That little light you can maybe see way out there, that's my house. It's across that way over there. Come on, Sammy. Come on, Henry. So watch out for things that seem too good to be true, even though we empaths, especially those of us romantically inclined, which I believe is probably most empaths. I can't imagine it being any other way, but maybe. It just seems to fit. And then, it all goes to shit. And you can't point to why, because you finally found a mate you want to lock in on. And you do anything for them, like really, really anything. And it doesn't matter. It'll never be enough. The goalpost keeps moving. And so the empath ends up questioning themselves, doubting themselves, because they've always operated on intuition. It's gotten them everywhere. We don't have to try as hard as other folks. Empaths just naturally know what the fuck is happening. We read energy, dumb shits. We don't need to see your face. We don't need to do anything to tell if you're lying or not, or if you're trying to bring one over on us. The problem isn't telling or being able to discern this stuff. It is what to do about it. Because an empath that is seeking is weak. And so you're telling the enemy, the wolves out there, hey, I'm looking, and I have big energy and big heart and big love, and when I love all in, and just looking for somebody with those qualities. And we're so stupid. All I have to do is come in and be like, you wouldn't believe it, I have them. And you're like, Jesus Christ, I knew it. And we're just dumb. Usually I know I'm describing every bitch who ever gets taken advantage of by an asshole, but it happens the other way around too. It's happened to me. It's happened to others. But here's the thing, empaths. If you do meet the person and you do fall for the person and you say, Squirrely, you're crazy. This person is my fucking twin flame soulmate. Okay. But I want you to know something. Or if you're already so deep in that even if you recognize what I'm saying is true, you're like, well, yeah, maybe, but there's no going anywhere because you have this profound feeling of being stuck. I want you to know something. Nothing happens in this world without a reason. That's not a guess, and that's not to make you feel good. I don't bullshit people. I cut off 90% of my actual fucking family. Do not fuck with me. Right? I'll cut anybody off. I don't give a fuck. Once I acquired discernment, now I hunt the monsters. But let me tell you something about the monsters. Besides, they're weak. They're very, very weak. But here's the real rub about it. If you're in a relationship you decide to stay in that you suspect is, one of the dark triads, sociopathic, psychopathic, or narcissistic, let them break you if you're not broken already. If you're not sure if you're broken, don't fucking talk to me. Because I know what broken looks like. You'll know. At that point, you have choices that you did not have before or any other time in your life. You see, because you've been stripped now of purpose, of meaning, You're an empty camp. You experienced their fucking reality. You gave all their love and they gave none back. And now you have their black box and they have your Christmas present. Okay, that's fine. Don't stress. You can get it back. It's never been gone. It's an illusion. Everything here is an illusion, but especially that. See, what they do is they take very, very precision tools, German made, Austrian made, and they get in deep and rewire you to believe you're nothing, to believe you are the reason anything goes wrong, to believe you're a shit person, on and on it goes. It's terrible. But the good news is you can rewire yourself, but only once you're broken. Because, think about getting a brand new toy for Christmas, but it's kind of complicated, right? It's like something you build out of Lego or Lincoln Logs or Constructs or something, right? Some shit like that. Your big brother is an asshole, so he comes along and kicks it, bang! Now it's just sticks all over the room again with a fucking half-ass base that looked like it could have been an Easter bunny, right? But it wasn't. It's a fucking truck, all right? So we got a problem. What do? This is what happens in real life. You can now choose to find others that has happened to, and the way you find them is by advertising your woes and your pain. Others will come out of the woodwork. Hey, the same kind of stuff happened to me. Why don't we form a coalition against cocksuckers? Yeah, ladies, let's go. And it's like, or you could take a good hard look at what the fuck you got left. Look at your blessings. Look at what you do have. Look what you can salvage and get the fuck back up. You get up and you start cleaning that mess up. You didn't make it, but it's not a mess either. It's you lying on the floor in 1,000 million pieces, waiting for you to put it back together correctly. No, you didn't shatter it. You did, arguably, but that's for another entry. The mirror effect, you absolutely did shatter it. You allowed it. Anyway, what's up, Henry? It's like you hear something. Here it goes. Oh my, Henrietta. So you allowed, nope, you're not gonna trick me. There's the thing. Here's the dog. There's the thing. That's too close. Come on, buddy. There are things out here you don't want to fuck with. I'm not scared of it, but I respect it. I've seen what it can do. It's nothing to fuck with. So anyway, and I believe that corner, those goalposts are at my safe zone. I don't think it can come around this corner, never did. But anyway, so once you're lying broken on a floor, 1 billion shards of glass, you have to take a deep, it's just like if you moved and you're like a handy guy, and so you have a bunch of tools and fucking organizer drawers and, cotter pins go here, that kind of deal. You can just say, well, that mess is too big. I guess I'm fucked up. And then just get whatever job you can manage to fucking keep and join the masses of broken people who just stop in their tracks instead. Oh, look, here's Sammy. Instead of asking for help. Hi, Sammy. Oh, my honey. Were you going to jump out and scare us? Yeah, probably. He's a little shit. Huh, Henrietta. Oh, my. So once you're broken by these people, get out of it. First of all, you cannot heal in the same place you're broken. That is never going to happen. Get out of it. It doesn't matter what. Because here's another thing about this stuff. Once you see it, you're accountable. You weren't accountable before. You trusted blindly, you loved hard, and even through pain and confusion, you held on, gritting your teeth, white-knuckled, trying to hold this thing together. Wait until you're a few months, a year out of it. You'll wonder why you did anything for the motherfucker. But you have to understand that, look at it a different way. Those narcs hunt us, right? Well, that means we've got the power, right? Or else why would they have to hunt for us and trick us and do nasty things to get into our lives and hurt us and rearrange things? You want me to unhook you, bud? You've been so good on this walk, sweet pea. Think about that, though. If they didn't have to trick us, then I would buy that they're more powerful. But they're not. So one of the first things, I mean, these things happen naturally too, but if you want a quick start guide on how to get out of this shit, the first thing to do is recognize that it was you. And you're going to fight it, and your ego's not going to want it, and everything's going to be jacked off for a long time. And you're going to struggle with that and struggle with that and struggle with that. Keep with it. Keep with me. Do whatever you need to do. Okay? Never give up, and it will happen. Seek and you shall find. Once you have discernment, once you have boundaries, walls, recognition, pattern recognition, once you have balls, once you have a backbone and you realize, oh yeah, I wanted to keep getting that and I keep getting sidetracked. So when we seek as empaths, as green empaths, maybe I did finish this like 3 times, it seems. Anyway, we are advertising the parts of us that we think we don't have. Now, the narcissist is not whole at all. They are empty, so they don't understand or care. Just the fact that you got something makes it fine for them. Because if they can get a reaction, if they can make you laugh, cry, horny, whatever, it doesn't matter. Reaction's good. That means you still care. And they'll just keep going and going until you don't. And then they just go, okay, well, on to the next. That's their existence. Another thing, and so the way you get past that is you have to let go of the idea that you need to be loved. That's a tough one. That was one of the toughest ones for me. You do not need to be loved. In fact, solitude oftentimes helps us more than some good partner or some flimsy partner. Another thing to recognize is that if you take the Bible, the biblical teachings, it says you cannot help anyone else until your cup overfloweth. Fill yourself first. You know, it's why the parents' mask dropped first on the airplane. Well, if you only let the kids breathe first, now they don't know a fucking thing about saving a parent. You're going to lose all the adults, and you're going to end up with romper room on the ground in a 747 that's mangled. What fun, right? So there's logic to this, okay? Just as in mathematics, order of operations is very important. So you need to let go of the idea that they ever loved you. Even as they show up now and again when things get really bad and you've threatened to leave or you've threatened to, you said, hey, this is all unfair, something's going on. And they say, honey, baby, no, what is going, no, it's all in your mind, it's all in your mind. And they get really, really soft and you say, there's the person I fell in love with. Okay, they're in there. They've got issues and that's fine because I love them, but they're in there. And then there's the cycle. So the way that cycle works is as long as that loop keeps running, what else can happen? Fucking nothing, right? You have to interrupt the loop. You have to interrupt the loop with coherence. Coherence is a fancy word for, understanding, aligning, making everything right. If somebody's jumbling something up in writing, you make it coherent by fixing it, rearranging the letters, rearranging the words, whatever you got to do, deleting, adding. That's what you do once you're broken by the narc, okay? You are now in one of the most wonderful and beautiful positions any soul can ever be in on the planet. And that's when you're so sad, you don't know if you could take another breath. You just don't know if you're scared to because you just don't know if you'll exhale, right? You are in a wonderful spot. Make a decision. What I did was make a decision to get the narcs out of my life. And then I asked God, hey, I'm pretty out of ideas here. I'm pretty out of strength. I don't know what the fuck just happened to me, and I need help. And so I asked specific things, and I was granted those things and then some. And now here I am a year later, just absolutely thriving. I mean, I'm not going to lie and say I feel like a game show host every day. No, you're sad a lot more than you're happy. But knowing the truth of what happened does make the difference. You have to face the truth, though. Without the truth, you have absolute shit, okay? I can help you get to the truth. The truth is easy to get to, but it's hidden so deep. Well, they think it's so deep. It's right there. But anyway, I've gone a little long on this. It's 30 minutes. I'm gonna skedaddle. I don't know what time it is. Probably around 8:30, something like that. Tomorrow's my Friday, so I don't know what I'm gonna do tonight. I was thinking about getting out the laptop and writing, but what I have to write scares the hell out of me. So, kind of been avoiding it. Not too long, a couple weeks, maybe a little longer. Maybe a little longer than that. But I'll get there. I'll get there because I know. And now I'm accountable. See, once you understand what the narc is doing to you, you can't go so wishy-washy and say, no, but maybe it's wrong. You know, they don't check every box. They don't. If they check 3, it doesn't even matter if they're an avoidant, fearful, anxious, avoidant, whatever they are. It's probably best if you're in a position just to get the fuck out of that and count your losses, because you can rebuild. And rebuilding is so much better than you were before. You're trying to save something that's broken. Yourself. You cannot and will not ever get happy by what somebody else offers you. You have to get happy first. And the way you do that is by breaking down walls. Bust them down, kick them down, wear cleats, get violent, yell, scream, kick, get angry. Understand your role in situations from childhood on up. Understand how you've been taken, literally, in most of those situations. You probably were victimized. Very high likelihood, especially if you're an empath or a sensitive one of any kind, neurodivergent of any kind, you know what I'm talking about. ADHD, autism, any of these things, you know what I'm talking about. You're not different bad, you're different better. I'll prove that to you if you want. Leave me a comment. I'll talk directly back to you. Let's get things fixed up, okay? Where you're at's no fun, but where you're going, ask your higher power for help. Ask your higher power for help. Keep seeking help. Keep seeking help. The narcissist has no power whatsoever. You seek that help. All right, you guys, take care. I'm gonna turn in here. Well, I'm not gonna turn in, but I'm outie like last year. Where's this fucking dog? Ran off with the fucking cat. All right, you guys, peace out. 33. Oh my God. I mean, it works, guys. It works, okay? Please listen to my words.